Wellness. Welcome to Notes of Naura. My name is Nadja Rashida, and may this message find you well and whole. Today's topic, it is transition. When things get hard, make things simple. So I shared a bit about, the past year and the big change with grad school and job and all that stuff. It's not the first rodeo in my life where I'd had to pretty much start over from scratch. But I will say in this transition in my life currently, this is my first time where I am putting myself first, in the sense that I am leading with my heart, I've mentioned before, and that I am doing what feels good, doing what feels right, doing what feels guided, and deepening my faith in that. For a long while, for about 12 years, the past 12 years of my life, I've just really dedicated. There's something that happened back in 2014, and I think it was really fear-based, false evidence appearing real, an illusion that because I, couldn't really afford a path of creativity or a path, taking the path of an artist, a creator, in the world of opera and classical music and art and all that, I needed to do something that was safe, and I needed to do something that was purposeful and had meaning and that would be highly respected. And so that's what I did. In the past 12 years, I've dedicated myself, my skill set, my life force energy to education and medicine for quite some time. And I dibbled at, I got into my music, here and there. I, was part of a punk rock band for several weeks. That's an interesting story. I had my first live show in a bookstore a couple of years ago. Would do a huge presentation that involved my classical music or classical skills in opera, and just so music in my creative life was always there. It would once in a blue moon would shimmer, but it really took the back seat this past year. And so now moving forward in this transitional season that I'm in, I'm feeling all kinds of feelings, like the realization that I am embarking on a really big adventure, that I don't know the outcome. I don't know the type of people I'm going to meet. It's just, I'm opening myself because I have opened my heart. And when you open your heart, you begin to receive and release things that don't serve you. And you begin to receive what is needed and what you want and your desires and what should be top priority in your life. And then you begin to release things that don't serve you. That's what I meant to say. So yes, transition. As a practitioner of minimalism, which some people, I had one commenter, gosh, it was several months ago, I made a video on minimalism, and I guess it triggered this one lady, because she was like, you sound crazy and nuts in the head. Why would anyone ever live like that? It was just very funny. Some people find minimalism to be too extreme, but it just is up my alley. And it's not about what you can go without. Let me get that abundantly clear. Minimalism is a practice where you keep material things that serve a purpose for you. That could be anything, right? Certain books that I have a purpose. To another minimalist, it wouldn't have a purpose at all. It would just be another thing they have to, process or whatever. But I bring up the minimalism thing because it ties into simplicity. During transitional seasons in your life, you're going to face a lot of doubt. You're going to face your shadow self, your deepest fears that you've numbed and cut yourself away from. You've compartmentalized, and you put in like an old dusty drawer up in the attic or in the basement somewhere. And usually when there's a major transition, what happens when you're moving from your home? You have to go to the attic or to the basement, these two forgotten spaces in a home, and clean out everything because you're moving. You're taking everything with you. You're taking and moving on to a different space. And so with that, you're uncovering the skeletons in your closet. You're uncovering unhealed wounds. You're uncovering things that you just neglected or numbed yourself out, or just completely numbed yourself to. And so when you're going through this, the best way I feel like to handle it is, to simplify. When things begin to get hard, because they will get hard. And that's another thing when you're in the middle of transition. It can be quite challenging, because when you open up about a transition in your life to the closest people to you, your loved ones, your friends, your families, your lovers, your people who know you and respect you, and you go against with how the narrative that you set for yourself, their expectation for you is set, right? Their expectation for, this is Nadja, this is her story, and this is how she conducts herself. This is how she does this. This is how she does that. And then one day you wake up and you say, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm moving on. It throws everybody to a loop, and they have to readjust. Some people don't take it very well. Some other, in the real, real gang, like the people who you ride or die, people who support you no matter what, they're going to be support with you all the way. They're not going to feed, water the seed of doubt at all. They're going to be they're going to encourage you, because they believe in your faith, they believe in your heart, and they believe in what you're trying to do for yourself, or what you are doing for yourself. But yeah, when things get hard, it gets lonely sometimes, because sometimes it's not always a good thing to go to everybody and anybody and any stranger and say, hey, this is what I'm planning to do. No, it's not always very smart. I definitely don't believe I'm in that season to go, hey, everybody, guess what? Not everyone's where you're at, and not everything that is meant for you is meant for everybody else. So, you're saying, I'm going to, go after this goal or go after this opportunity. They're not in alignment for that. So they're going to automatically resist that. And then you being brand new to this calling, you're going to kind of take on the projection of, no, don't do it. You take on the voice of the resistance. So yes, how do we make it easier? How do we simplify when things get hard? And I would say, find a trusted individuals. Very few. Make it less than 5 people that you can entrust your process of your transition. Because number one, that communication, who you're telling and when you tell it. Again, I'm an alchemist, so I very much believe in the magic of water, wind, and earth, and fire, and ether. And, when I think of air energy, I think of you're giving birth to an idea. That's not always the best season to go around telling everybody, hey, everybody, this is my new idea. This is my new goal, right? Water energy is actively stirring the pot, if you will. Think of an ocean where the currents of your ideas, you begin to bring in, you begin to gain clarity of the direction, the flow, right? The creative flow of that water, with your goal, your idea, your opportunity. With fire is that passion. That's so important. When you have something new and you take that seed and you give fire to it, it's that life force energy, right? It's that sexual life force energy that we all have. It's our birthright, and it gives that fire, it feeds that fire into what is what you are pregnant with. Okay. When I say pregnant, I mean something that you're cultivating and it's brewing. Okay. And that fire, that passion needs that, your opportunity goal, that calling needs that passion. It needs that courage, that bravery to keep pushing through. And then finally we have the earth energy. And the earth energy is that final, it's the earth. It is the manifestation. It is the harvest, right? When it's ready, you're like, hey, I got this. I'm ready to go. Bought the ticket. I have it. Hey, everybody, guess what? I'm leaving. Or hey, everybody, this is my business. This is what I'm selling. This is my new product. Or this is that. Everyone's like, oh, what? Oh, my God. And they don't really have a lot of time to project their negativity because everything's has gone through that natural process. Because I believe it is a process when in the middle of transition or when you're beginning something, starting anew, if you will. So yeah, I would say minimize the amount of people that you speak to about it. And what will help to simplify difficult transitions is to find people that have gone through what you're going through, are going through what you're going through, or I guess will go through. But most importantly, find someone that's on that frequency, that's going through it too, because that way you don't feel alone. It's so sad when you're talking to someone and they're saying, no, you shouldn't do that, no, you shouldn't do that, or why are you doing this, or why are you doing that, and they're not doing what you're doing. They don't have the same goals, they don't have the same aspirations, they're not inspired in the same way. And it can be from people that really and truly love you, and so it can be very difficult. So simplify that by being aware of who you're communicating with and who you're sharing your information and your insights and stuff and downloads you're getting during times of transition. And when I say transition, it could be career switch, it could be traveling, relocating, it could be a new lover, new partner, it could be a business, okay, a project, something big, right? Obviously you can't hide a baby. You know what I'm saying? But still, like, I look at that as like the gestation of something that that you are manifesting. Allow it to go through that phase, the wind, water, fire, earth phase, for it to then to fully manifest. How else to make it a bit more simple? Law of sacrifice. I'm very, very, very careful with law of sacrifice because some people get so caught up in virtue. Like, oh, this is virtuous, this is a righteous thing, and this is going to make me awesome because look, everybody, look how much I'm sacrificing myself. Look how hard I'm working. And it's just an ego stroke, right? When it comes to going through a big shift that's going to challenge you and challenge like your old way of thinking and doing things, I would say I just lost my train of thought. It's coming. Oh geez. Just lost my train of thought, but it'll come back. I feel like it'll come back. Oh, gee willikers. I was talking about, what was I saying? It's bugging me. Well, I'll just continue. Yes, so yeah, I left off where, being aware of communicating, or of whom you are communicating with when you are in the middle of transition. Yeah, gosh, that was a major point I was going to make, but that's okay. Maybe it didn't need to be said. So, yeah, moving forward, I don't know, I'm hearing something about like, oh yes, sacrifice. Thank you, Source. Sacrifice. Okay. So in this context, sometimes you have to make a sacrifice, meaning, and this is part of releasing and letting go what you can't take on your new journey. Whether that's a lover, that's a job, that's your house, your home, your location where you're at, your current residency, your business. Sometimes you need to let go of a business so you can get over here and start something new. Sometimes you need to break something off of someone so that you can go solo and find yourself. Sometimes you have to let go of being solo and start a completely new love affair, a loving relationship. We're all called in many different spaces. So it's like in a way, you are creating space. Sacrifice is a way to create space to receive, but be very, very careful with sacrifice, because a lot of the time that can give room for losing yourself and then you fall into the abyss, and it's really very difficult. It's almost like you lose yourself to find yourself again. But going that route through the frequency of sacrifice, you have to be very careful and mindful and heartful with that. I'm saying, like, materialistically, yeah, like, let that job go. Let that connection go that's not going, you can't take with you. Let that project go. I always thought for a really long time that things needed to be completed at all times. You start something, you finish it. That way when you finish it, you can start something else. And I live by that for a long time. Whatever it takes, you never stop. You keep the good, you give the good fight, right? Because again, virtue, righteousness is a virtuous thing to, keep giving more of yourself when you're empty. And I think that is incredibly toxic. And that's where you get stuck. That's where you lose yourself. That's where you fall into the abyss. And then you're like trying to find, well, like, what are you have to do the whole, what are my values? What are my principles? Because you let all of that go. You let those boundaries go. And you just kind of like willy-nilly, and so, yeah, I would say be mindful of be very aware of what you're sacrificing during the transition, because if anything, the law of sacrifice is asking you to create more space to receive. And believe me, I've had to let go of some really big things that I thought were so important and I couldn't live without per se, but I did. I let it go and I did move on, and I could continue to live on. And so a lot of the things that we attach ourselves to tend to gosh, guys, I'm sweating. Oh my Lord. Oh, I try to keep the AC off so the electric can be low, but bro, yeah, I said bro. Okay, sorry. I'll have to turn it back on. But yeah, I think those are two. So communicating with very specific people and sacrificing, letting things go. Another way to keep it simple, detach yourself from the outcome. That would be number 3. And I think my final tip. Detach yourself from what it is you think how it's all supposed to unfold, especially when it involves another human being or a group of people. Human beings are walking, talking, interdimensional universe. Like, they're interdimensional beings. They have a whole universe inside them, a whole cosmos inside them. So if you have one person, that's a whole lot. You got a group of people, that's all even more. That's a lot to try to say, oh, I hope this works out this way, or this job works out this way, or this. Listen, anything meant for you will not pass you by. It will come directly to you. Directly. It will not miss. Think of Artemis and the bow, right? Focused. The very thing that's meant for you is coming towards you right now. You may not be able to see it. It may be going at warp speed or very, 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 very slow, but it's on its way to you. You have to have faith in that. You know, you have to have faith in that. They have faith in yourself. Have faith in yourself. Believe in you. Believe in your capabilities. Believe in your skill set. Believe in your intellect. Believe in your emotional intelligence. Believe in your spiritual gifts. Believe in the health of your body, the vessel that's carrying you through this transition. Believe in it. Believe in your dreams. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to your visions and what you're downloading. This will strengthen your discernment as well. When you let go of what you think a certain thing should be. I don't think there's anything wrong to ask for the manifestation of a specific kind of life. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm actively doing that right now. Truly. It's like a big puzzle piece. And I don't have all the pieces. But I'm like, every day I'm like, ooh, okay, this fits. And this piece fits. This piece fits. And this fits here. And that piece fits here. Nice. Okay, it's slowly coming together. Still don't see the whole outcome of how it's supposed to be, where I'm going to end up, where I'm going to, do this and do that, and these type of people and this type of person. All of that is coming. It's coming together. But when you receive that little piece of insight or that clue or tip, take it. And if it doesn't fit, you're like, ooh, this piece isn't fitting into the puzzle, remove it. Take it away. It's okay. But don't attach yourself to other people's projection of a story for you. I think having a shared vision, I think, is very beautiful, but just be very, very careful of that, because it can get kind of muddy when you are in the middle of a transitional period in your life and, something comes along. It's like, okay, is it supposed to go like this or is it supposed to go like that? And we meet in the middle, It's super important, this. And guess what? You won't know until you get right there. You won't know until you if it's this or that at a specific moment. I hope that makes sense to you all. I'm not going to keep this very long. I think it's 84 degrees in here. I'm very blessed. I feel very happy and grateful to have this wonderful apartment. It's amazing. I love it. I'm very grateful for all the connections I've made and reconnections I've made this summer with friends, old friends. Oh, Jesus. I just feel very grateful and very, 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 very excited. Very excited. And I will share the details. I think the details will be ready between the next 6 to 9 months, where I'll feel comfortable. It's very in the water era right now, in the water season. That's where I'm at. Next will be the fire season, and I feel like by December is when I probably will be more vocal on some things. But as of right now, it's definitely interesting time indeed. So may you find this message, or may this message find you well and whole. And thank you for receiving it. Thank you for tuning in. If you stay the entire time, I really appreciate it. I really look forward to the topic for next month. I think most of you will enjoy it. And, a lot is shifting in my life, my goodness. And I'm very, very, there's so many mixed emotions. A lot of, from shadow and light, just both sides, and this dualistic reality that we live in. I'm just really very grateful to be able to be here and to be alive and to breathe and to see and to feel and to taste and to touch and to experience, to create, to teach, to learn. I can't really ask for, I mean, I could ask for more. I don't think there's anything wrong with asking for more, but I am realizing what I have in my life. And I think gratitude by far is magic. Gratitude is magic. And more on that on another video. Thank you so much. Remember to expand your consciousness, evolve your human being, and embrace supreme loving guidance. Thank you so much. See you.